Welcome to Market Like a Hotshot, episode 48.
I know you had to think about that for a minute because
48. Wow. We are literally 2 or 3 episodes from guest time.
we are. And do you remember back in the fall, we went to that podcasting event and they were
Austin.
talking, in Austin, and they were talking about how most podcasts don't go to 4, and I think we were already at 14.
I know at that time.
Which is really cool. So
Podcast Garage. That's out in Austin, Mass. Great place to check out, by the way.
Yeah, we had a blast there, and you did a great job managing that event. So what's up? What's today's topic?
Well,
Yes.
it's something near and dear to all of our hearts here as business owners. Online presence like a hot shot.
Yeah. That's
You know,
one of my
it
favorite
sounds
topics.
pretty simple. You think it's just your website, but it's a lot more than just your website. You know, why is your online presence your first impression? I always think of like the website is the front door of your house. You ever go by a street and you see this blue house with a yellow door? And you're like, what are these people thinking? So you don't want to have, first impressions of your online presence. You want people to say, what the heck are these people thinking?
Right.
And then this is a big one, you'll probably expand on is how to protect your ideas and own your brand and IP and stand out everywhere. And then, the biggest mistakes people make online, when they say something wrong, it stays there forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how to avoid them. And then finally, we'll talk about how to build online presence that actually works for your business, which is, what we do, right? We do it all the time. So, setting the stage tonight, the internet is your storefront, your resume, your reputation, your first handshake. First time you see anything about James or Jeff on the internet, first impressions matter, right?
Yeah, because if you think about it, right, like you're going to interact with the business for the first time. What do you normally do, right?
Handshake.
You look up online everything about the business. When we have people that apply for jobs, whether they're internships, full-time, part-time, whatever the position is, we search them,
Of
and
course.
if you as a recruiter,
Oh, I'm looking at you all the time online. So be very careful out there, you job searchers there, because I'm going to learn all about you. And that's the thing, first impressions.
Yeah.
First impressions matter. If I have a bad impression for the first 10 seconds of my searching, you're probably off the list. So think about that from a business owner perspective, not to be dramatic here.
Right.
So, go ahead.
If you don't shape your story, the internet will. That's basically the bottom line. Right?
Yep, you got a reputation out there. So what's a good hot shot angle there before we jump into mindset?
Well, the thing is you want your online presence to work for you and not against you. It's out there 24/7.
Yeah, you could be taking a nap on your couch, and your online presence is working for you.
One time this was
You were
years
taking
and
a
years
nap?
ago. Yeah, I wish I could take a nap. I have to have my awake shot. But I remember I was on vacation one time, and like the week I was down there, I had my personal development blog.
Yep.
And it was generating, it generated a few sales, it generated some ads. It was only a couple bucks, but I'm still like, wow, I'm making money on vacation. How
That's the
cool
way you
is
want to
that?
be. Hey, we'll talk about residual income like a hot shot someday.
Yeah, that'll be a good episode.
That'll be very good. We'll have to put that on the list.
Yeah.
So getting into mindset, like your digital footprint speaks. We already talked about that. Speaks before you, right?
It really does.
Everything you post, share, or publish becomes part of your story. So, what's kind of I would say the evils of social media today that get people in trouble?
Yeah, the thing is commenting on those hot button issues, political rants. Doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Exactly.
And it being posted online, like it's now with everybody walking around with a camera, walking around with a phone, and sometimes people, they don't really think before they post, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit today.
Definitely will be, shaping your narrative because, the internet will shape you. So it's not an accident, it's a strategy. That's what your online presence is all about. So
Right.
I'm going to jump right in. We're moving along here today. I think it's all the awake shots we drank.
I think so.
We talk a little bit about IP. What's some of the basics of intellectual property?
Well, the three, intellectual property is pretty much any idea, creation that you make, and it can range from, content, digital content, to a physical book or a physical product. And we were talking about this earlier today. There's three basic ways in the U.S., and this is maybe
just U.S. based here.
Yeah. And we know we have a lot of listeners from outside of the U.S., so you just want to check with your country.
I thought I saw we have some people from the Philippines.
We do. We have Ireland.
Ireland.
We have Vietnam. We have Canada. We have a lot.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah, we have a lot. So,
wow.
Let's start with the copyright, right? Because that's like for your creative works, a book, a blog post, a website. You'll see most websites have that copyright date at the bottom.
Yep, exactly. That's important. I would say homework right now. If you have a business website, check your copyright date.
Oh, my goodness. That's a signal to us all the time where, we see people, it's like 2026 when we're recording this.
I know, right?
And you know how often we see, like, copyright 2021. I'm like, okay.
Oh, boy. Somebody hasn't updated their website in a few years.
And something funny is sometimes these are web designers' websites.
Yeah, we're not going to hire them, huh?
No.
No.
We know a good one that they could reach out to instead.
Right.
But moving on to the other, it's like, we know a good website company if you need one. A trademark, and that's something that's actually really important to have and that covers your brand and your brand identity. So your logo, your brand name, that's something that in the U.S. you can do a trademark search using a tool called TESS, T-E-S-S.
TESS, T-E-S-S.
Yeah.
All right, remember that.
And you just go in there and you can search for whatever name you're thinking of using.
Okay.
And it'll tell you whether there's a trademark on that particular name.
So is it test.com or is it just test?
It's something, I don't think it's test.gov. I forget off the top of
Okay.
my head. But just go do a search for test trademark search, and it should bring you to a .gov website.
Very good tip there. Write that one down.
And, the next steps with the trademark is that, you can go out there and buy it yourself. Currently, it's $250 for a trademark, per trademark.
Yeah.
I do recommend that you work with a good IP attorney.
Yeah, without a doubt. Don't mess around, because imagine you build your business multi-million dollars, some people, billion-dollar business, and then you get sued.
Right. Or somebody comes out with a similar name, and then you don't have, your trademark was never set up correctly to begin with.
Yeah.
So like you think you're protected because you're saving maybe a couple $100 by not having an IP attorney do it. But the reality of it is that it may not protect you in the right category. So I've done a lot of work in that industry because of, us getting our trademarks. I've done a lot of research. Let me just tell you, it is a heck of a lot easier if you work with a IP attorney. And we can recommend one if you want one.
Yeah, just give us a call. That's why I wanted to say, that's why I'm called a desocial connector, because besides my cousins and my brother and my nephew, nobody has that DeSocio name. Right?
Really?
So you always think about that. Nobody's going to sue you for your last name.
You should go on like Ancestry.com and see.
One of my long-lost relatives in Italy sues me.
Yeah.
I never know. So how about patents?
So patents are another thing that, again, you want to work with an IP attorney on this. And a patent is really meant for physical products. Like an example I like to use is you may not want to file a patent. You may want to just keep it as a trade secret. And I'll give you an example as to why. Let's say you invent something similar to a Rubik's Cube. It's a small game that you play around with, but it's different from the Rubik's Cube. Maybe it's instead of four-sided, or instead of being a cube, maybe it's like, a hexagon or something like that. Or
I remember didn't they have hexagon cubes?
I think someone did alter it.
Wow.
But or maybe it's a triangle. Whatever it is. Just imagine it's a small thing that you put that you create. Now you can get a patent on that, and what that means is that no company in the U.S. will be able to legally reproduce that. But you got to think about technology today. What if somebody takes that patent, uses AI, our good friend AI, and creates what they could probably take the schematics and then 3D print it out.
Yep.
Your patent is not going to protect you from people doing that. It's also not going to protect you with overseas companies creating knockoffs. If you really want to talk to a IP attorney about that type of stuff to make sure that a patent is right for you. No. On the flip side of things, Disney, Universal, Six Flags, sometimes they create ride systems that are used in parks that are very hard for people like you and I to recreate, especially on a 3D printer.
Yeah,
right?
That'll be fun.
So, I mean, like, when they do something like that, you're in good shape with a patent, because if Disney creates one, Universal isn't going to go and create a ride with that same launch system. Because,
they usually don't.
Yeah, so again, talk with an IP attorney, and they'll be able to guide you better on that.
Right, good stuff. So, why does IP matter from day one? I mean, I know we kind of really honed in on this today, but it protects your brand, it gives you leverage, right? When you start your business, you always want leverage to kick things off.
Yeah.
You're starting your business, you're getting your business plan in place. Right there and then, you should work on your, protecting yourself and protecting your brand before you really get going, because you're going to get busy. When you start rolling your business and you're building it, and you don't want to forget about this stuff like this.
Right.
It's yours. Protect it.
Absolutely.
File the trademark yourself. We talk about the attorney, right? Your brand's your asset.
It's just because you can file it yourself doesn't mean you should. You should use an attorney. So you should
get a lawyer.
Yeah, definitely get a lawyer.
That's when lawyers are actually useful, right?
They're very, very useful.
All right, so getting into content.
Right.
Using our content online. So I know we were talking about this earlier today with the group about pictures.
Right.
You always want to post a Facebook post or a LinkedIn post, and you're like, I don't have any pictures on, I don't know, SEO or some topic.
Right.
What do you do? I mean, let me ask, I know getting images and fonts and music online, there are some that you can see, some that you can use, some that you can't use. What's your thoughts on that? Because I've noticed this happen a lot on TikTok. All of a sudden, I get slapped with this copyright when I download a song with my video. And, where does that line get drawn?
It's quite complicated, but it's also something where you've just got to be super careful. So when it comes to images, a lot of times people will just go search on Google.
Yeah, Google.com.
And they're like, all right, I found this on Google. It's like, Cobra Kai. I don't know if you ever saw the show Cobra Kai.
No.
Oh. Yeah? No, it's based on Karate Kid. So there's you'll appreciate this. They make this really cool video similar to the one that we had for our live event that we did, right? And Johnny Lawrence, the antagonist from the first movie, the villain from the first Karate Kid movie, is like, all right, that's great. Now put Thunderstruck on there by AC/DC, and one of his people is like, which is a great song. I
love doing that riff on my guitar.
That is kind of.
You gotta have fast fingers, though.
You do. But the thing is like, he wants to put that in the video, and one of the people is like, I don't think we own the rights to that song. He's like, sure we do. I got the tape in my car,
Oh,
and a lot of times people don't understand that, because we've had situations where tools like CapCut or Canva or, other tools, like we think it's okay, we think it's royalty free, but then it turns out that something snuck by and then it wasn't. And so like sometimes you produce content with stuff that you technically can use, so you cannot use. So you can't just go download stuff from the internet. I mean, Google fonts, they're fine, but like there are ways to if you're technical enough, you can pull a font from a website.
Yep.
And if that font is it has a copyright associated with it, you're not technically supposed to be using it.
Yeah, I do notice on Google.com sometimes images literally say licensed on it. If you do see something that says licensed, you shouldn't be using any, but those are the ones you really want to stay away from.
Right.
Because guess what will happen? They actually will track down where it gets downloaded to, which is scary. Remember, everyone's watching you out there. So
yeah, I mean, we had a situation where someone came to me and they got a cease and desist letter because they grabbed something from one of those free photo sharing sites like Pexels or Unsplash.
Yeah.
And, it turned out that the person that uploaded it grabbed it from somebody they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So those sites aren't really monitored, so you've got to be really careful. You're not really being protected. So that's where doing like Adobe Stock or, one of those paid services you're a lot better off because you know someone's at least looking at.
All right, so here's one more before we jump to the next topic, right? AI. All right, so I can go to GPT.
That's on the bingo card.
All right, create an image that shows Framingham, Massachusetts as the heart of the Metro West. I don't know, it's near the top, right?
Yeah.
Creates it for you. Who owns that?
There's a lot of debate about that. So at this point, there's no hard ruling either way on it. It's more of an ethical decision. So a lot of people will not use AI-generated content because they feel like it's been trained on content that they didn't have permission to copy.
That's a good point.
So it's a technicality. The thing is like AI image generation is still not that good.
It looks like a friggin' cartoon. Do you ever notice? And a lot of people are starting to use them on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You notice LinkedIn, you see it's like cartoons.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell when it's an AI-generated thing.
It's getting out of control.
It's okay. Like sometimes we'll use like Canva has an AI built-in tool, and some other things do. Like I'll use it to generate something, and then I'll look at it and not like it because I don't understand why it has such a hard time with words. You would think the words would be the easiest thing.
I know, right?
I mean, I created a program in the late 90s that would nicely write words on an image.
Yeah.
Before AI was, even a
thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was around back then, but not in its current form.
Not like now. It's obsessive. Yeah. I drive on Route 9 now, and I see AI. It's in my brains. It's crazy. So Hotshot Angle.
Right.
As you summarize this, right? If you didn't create it or license it, you don't own it, don't use it. Bottom line. All right. So how about another one that we love, domain names. This is all about your online presence, online like Hotshot. Right. Choosing the right domain.
What are some of your top tips for choosing a domain name?
Short.
Exactly.
You ever seen those domains? It's like, I'm going down the street in 150 miles an hour.com. Yuck, 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 yuck. Think about there was a guy I don't think he remembers me. There's a guy named Jim Quick I used to work with. Oh. He had a he bought the domain quick.com.
Oh.
This is back in the late 90s when the internet was just coming out, and he got $500,000 for it.
Wow.
Why do you think it was so popular? It was short.
Yeah, I mean it's short. It's a word.
Yeah.
And it's a .com. The .com names.
Even my business, my internet marketing business, shop.com. Wow, short and right to the point. Yeah. It's memorable. Shop.com, right?
And it's easy to spell.
Yeah. If you don't know how to spell shop, you should be go back to school.
So I mean, think about when you're having a phone call with somebody, right? And you're saying go to shop.com.
Yeah.
And they're like to me, I would type in SHOP.
That's it, right?
.com. And then you're like, oh, this is cool. It has this. And you're like, oh, wait, you're looking at the wrong website. It's SHOPPE.com.
Yeah.
People do a lot of stuff with weird spellings. Maybe it's crazymoney.com, but with a K and the M, it's spelled KRAZIMUNNIE. Don't use weird spellings like that unless.
No, and don't ever spell my name with a G. Ever. Jeff. It's JEFF.com.
It's not GEO.
No, I actually met somebody that said GEOPH.com. Imagine that. I mean, come on. You can't.
Jeff.com.
That's not memorable. I'm sorry. So, short, memorable, easy to spell is really key. So don't mess with words. Be simple. And, avoid hyphens. I hate websites with hyphens. Stop that. Yeah. Really. You talk about weird spellings. Geoff. And then trademark conflicts. You don't want to mess around with trademarks. Right. That's a big one. That's so choosing a domain name to your home base, so definitely protect it.
If you could get, for example, and I don't know if this is available, PepsiSoda.com. Yeah. To promote your whatever you're promoting, good luck with that one. You don't want to go up against a multi-billion-dollar company.
And they have good lawyers. Yeah. We're talking about lawyers, right?
They could probably fill 10 of these buildings with their lawyers.
All right. So what's the domain names? What's the Hotshot angle here, man?
Well, your domain name is your address on the internet, so you want to make sure you make it a good one.
Yep, exactly. Very good stuff, man. We're hot shotting down down the road today, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So branding, looking like you belong. This is talking about targeting the right clients, right? If your branding's all about targeting your right clients.
Yeah.
So what's some of the elements to lock in?
Some of the things that you want to do is you want to have your color, your font, your tone, your personality, profile photos, bios, and you want to create a brand kit that encompasses all
that, right? I love colors. Like my AMC Business Solutions, we have the blue and purple going. Market Like a Hotshot is right, purple.
It's got the purple and the
gray, right?
They're variations of, if you notice, the JVF colors.
Yeah. So colors really matter. People remember colors, right? And then, of course, the personality and all that. It's really good. So, and don't be cheap, right? Because your brand looks cheap, people assume your business is too. It's like your website. If you look like you had a website created by like Wix or something, or like GoDaddy's editor or whatever, people are thinking, what the heck is wrong with these people?
What it is they don't. It's unfortunate because they're just not directed in the right way.
No.
They're sold something that's just not a good tool for them, and it's unfortunate. But you're right. It's like I've had somebody reach out to me that's it's a multi-million-dollar business, and I looked at their website and I said, and not in these exact words, but essentially I was telling them it looks like it was built by a high school student.
No, actually a middle school student.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't even look as good in high school. Not to knock, there's some high school students that do
some smart kids. Look at some of the interns we had.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the interns, the talent that they've had, that we've had come through.
We miss the interns today. Where are they?
We're flying solo today.
Yeah, this is.
I think Reagan's across the street.
She's networking. That's good. Good for her.
Yeah, so I mean, like that's something you want your brand book to match what your target audience would expect. So like, we joke about like something like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, right? You wouldn't expect to go there and eat off of like paper plates or have cups like the ones we're using in here. You're going to expect nice
silverware.
Everything. You're going to expect the place to be clean. You're going to expect it to be well lit. You're going to expect,
Actually, Ruth's Chris is kind of dark.
Oh, it is kind of dark.
It gives the ambiance where you were with the wife, man.
I haven't been there since I think it was in Vegas when I went to one.
There is one in Worcester now.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, it's a few years now. Worcester. So, all right. And how about social media? I know we touched on it a little earlier. Let's expand on that. Choosing the right platforms for your audience is really key. And remember, branding. You're branding towards your target audience, right? Because you want your target audience to see how awesome your online presence is.
Right.
So that comes with social media. So what's some ideas of posting that won't get you into trouble?
Well, I mean, there's the obvious ones, right? Like posting about your products, your services, your client wins. All of that stuff is. I hit the thing. That's on our bingo card. And we should actually post the bingo cards so that the Hotshots out there.
Yeah, Hotshots will love to play some bingo.
We'll get some bingo cards out there in the coming weeks, and you should have them out when you listen to different episodes. It'll be a lot of fun. And one of the things we have is because one of us always hits these mix, but
boom.
I know. But stories about like we talk about our good friend.
1, 2, 3, ready? Chucky Goldstone, what's up, buddy?
I mean, Chuck is the master storyteller, and he's made his whole brand about storytelling.
Yeah.
And telling stories is what people want to hear.
They do.
I posted that photo of us on LinkedIn the other day. Like we were at the Taste of Metro West on Monday.
Awesome event.
Had a wonderful time at the event. But then, there were like 5 or 6 of us that were hanging out afterwards.
Yeah, the new Malone's in the Renaissance Framingham. You got to check it out. A little Irish bar. It's really cool.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fun to break up a lot of the stuff that most people post on LinkedIn, which is just like my business, blah blah blah. People don't care about your business as much as you do. I mean, you do want to promote. I'm not saying you should.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
But like, if all you're doing is promoting,
it's over.
I've muted about 30 people on LinkedIn because it's like it's the same garbage that they post. It's like just garbage posts. It's like if you're not doing this, you're missing out on an opportunity.
They're getting that AI training again.
Oh my goodness!
That's what it comes down to. So posting about. I always say 80% information, 20% promotion.
Right.
And information could also be inspirational stories, because then they'll learn your personality, right, behind the scenes and all that.
Yeah.
And we already talked about what to avoid. Oh, my Lord. All right, this is going to be a little bit controversial. If I see one more flipping Trump post on the internet, I'm going to scream. I get it. There's a lot of people hate Donald Trump, but stop posting about it.
Yeah, not on LinkedIn. Do it on Facebook. That's where
whatever, X. But it's just stop that. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't care about politics. All right, if you want to impress me, don't talk about politics.
My favorite author, Harvey Mackay, this was in the 80s. He had books. He's like, and I still don't understand why people don't follow this advice, but he's like, never, ever, ever share your political views in a business setting.
They say, I heard something, this is, as a business owner, you can lose up to 50% of your clients. Because remember, in an election, it's usually 50-50, most elections, right? Yeah. There's always going to be somebody out there that does not like what you said,
right?
No matter what. So I'm really passionate about this because I'm getting actually kind of tired of seeing all the flipping Trump posts on the internet. I'm serious. I mean, it's like, I'm not a big fan of him either. I mean, but it's like, enough already, please.
It's like, I'm so tired of it. In fact, I didn't want to trigger, like, we're probably
you just triggered me, man.
No, but like I did read his book, Art of the Deal, before he was a
psycho.
Yeah. And there's actually a really cool story in there that I wanted to share, and I kind of hinted at it last episode, and I'm like, I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah.
So it's no matter what your political persuasion is, unless if you're in an industry that is like, I don't know, if you're a PR agency that works either exclusively with Republicans or Democrats or Libertarian, Green Party, whatever it is, you probably want to stay away from politics in general.
Period. Yeah.
I don't even like posts if I agree with them. I don't even like them anymore.
Just go away.
Because I'm like, you just want to keep that out of there.
So you know what it is? It comes down to it. You're going to confuse your audience with your brands if you start, because that has absolutely nothing to do. Let's say you own a flower shop and you're posting about a political thing.
Right.
What the heck does that have to do with your flower shop, right?
Exactly.
So so good stuff.
And one other quick story about consistency, because I was reading about it in the book E-Myth Revisited. You've ever read that book?
I heard of that book, but man, I still got 4 more books to read.
I know, I have a whole stack.
I had a stack, man. I'm getting some good books.
There's a cool story in there, and it's about the author talks about visiting a barber. And the first time he goes to the barber, they wash his hair, give him like a neck or hair massage, and then they give him a cup of coffee and like other stuff, and then he gets a wonderful haircut. The next time he comes in, the assistant isn't around to do any of that, so he just gets like a nice haircut. Then he comes back one more time, and he gets the coffee, no hair washing, and so every time he shows up there, it's something different. And that's something that you got to keep in mind. He stopped going to that barber because he didn't know what to expect when he goes.
Probably
there.
The prices went up.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's the thing is when you don't have consistency, it turns away some of your clients. So that's something you want to be really careful with.
Definitely does. So, all right. So we talked enough about social media. So, it's where people meet your brand before they meet you. So remember that one. So how about your website, Mr. Website? JVF.com guy.
I know just a little bit about websites.
Man, he knows just a little bit, right? No, don't talk about WordPress, please.
Why?
Let's stop there now.
That's my favorite one. I know.
Why is that?
This is one of the areas where Jeff and I go back and forth on
Duda.
He loves Duda. I always say Duda is doo-doo. So.
All right.
But no, with your website, you do want to pick. You want to choose a platform that makes sense for you. And we talked about this today. So you have the SaaS providers, the Wix, the Squarespace, the Shopify. I wouldn't pay someone to build a site for you on that. Honestly, it's something you can learn in a couple hours on a weekend and get it to look.
It's all like point and click.
Yeah, it's all drag and drop.
You
really don't need to. You don't need to. And I would only use it if either temporarily or if you have a site that's going to be like what we call a brochure site.
Yeah.
Where it's not going to, you just need you're an electrician.
Information site.
Yeah, you just need basic information. You're not blogging. And even if you blog, it's not a big deal on there. But if you want to expand, that's where a tool like WordPress, or if you really have high aspirations, something like Drupal is another one that you could use. But you want to avoid, like we talked about, like the GoDaddy builders or
as
something
long as it's still in
related.
business.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about websites, and we'll do a deeper dive on this.
Website like a Hotshot.
Websites like a Hotshot.
Yeah.
With WordPress, you own the trailer, not to be crude, you own the trailer, but you don't own and we have own your online presence somewhere on there. Same thing that we talked about. It's like you own the trailer, but not the land. Your landlord raises the rent, you get to pick up your trailer and move it. We've had a lot of people reach out to us because Shopify, Wix, or whatever platform they're on is either, raising prices or cutting features that they wanted. And it's like, we got to essentially rebuild your website on WordPress or on another platform. So
that's a very good point. I think we talked about owning, what your website, you own it, social media, you're renting. I think we had a past episode on that, right?
We covered that.
So you own it. You want to really own it. And you may not even own your website if it's on Shopify, right?
No, not at all.
So remember that. I don't know if you have, unless you want to rent it, it's like renting an apartment, right? Yeah. But it could go out, suppose they go out of business.
I mean, the pro of those platforms is they're super easy to set up. I mean, WordPress isn't that difficult, but,
And then we shouldn't even talk about mobile first design at this point. I mean, that should be a given.
But not everybody understands that. The other thing, too, is that you want to build your website from your client's perspective, not from yours.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like, people are like, this is how I want navigation to work. And I'm like, well, how are your clients? Let's talk about your client's perspective. And they're like, oh. And then,
if they say, oh, that's like, man, that they need some training because you're in business. You have to always think about the customer.
Yeah, you got to
put the mindset. Pretend you're the customer. You don't want to have this crazy website. You have to go 6 pages deep to do a call to action, right? So, and then of course the websites can be fast, and that's where Duda comes in, right? And accessible. But your website,
where JVF comes in.
JVF.com.
That was how we
well, all right, I'm gonna test you. Okay, Mr. Brand.
Oh no.
What is your brand, Mr. JVF.com?
We help you connect, engage, and outperform.
Outperform. There you go. Right, nice and short and sweet. Yeah. So bring it all together. Your online ecosystem. So what's your domain?
Your domain name is your home.
Your home. It's like your house. And then, what's your brand?
Your brand is, who are you? Like
quiz time.
What's that? The song, Who Are You?
Who are you?
Yeah.
Ooh, did they retire finally?
Is that the Who? That's
the Who,
right?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was somebody else that's saying it, but I always thought.
I really want to know. Roger Daltrey is really short. He makes me look tall.
He did. Not to get off topic, but during the Freddie Mercury tribute concert, he did a really good version of "I Want It All."
Yeah. Oh, I love that song. I love that.
So good. But
that's a great Queen song.
Yeah, your brand. It's all about your identity. So you want to make sure that's consistent and it's accurate and it meets like what your target audience is looking for.
Exactly. And then social is your voice, right? Yeah. We talked about that. All right. If you have a crazy negative voice, guess what happens? Well, just negative things happen, right?
Yeah, and then attract what you put out there.
You attract what you put out there. And then, what's your credibility?
Your website.
Your website. Bingo.
And that's why you don't want it to look like garbage or look like it was done by a fifth grader.
By a blind fifth grader. And then, towards the beginning of our podcast today, we talked about IP and protection, right? So it's not one thing, it's an ecosystem. So it's all that stuff put together. Your domain, brand, social, website, and IP. Put it all together. And when it works together, you become unstoppable.
I love it.
Unstoppable. All right, we're landing the plane here on this wonderful afternoon. So just to summarize some tactics, Mr. Feudo.
First things first, you want to protect your ideas early. So, the first 2 things you do in either order is fine, is trademark and domain search.
Yep.
Domain name search. So do those right away.
Right away. As soon as you start your business, open for business. And then owning your brand across every platform is important.
And that's easy to do. You don't have to be active on every social media platform, but like if you have a cool name, you want to grab it before somebody else does.
Yeah. That's why I pick weird names so people never can. Who the heck would pick allinmycot.com, right? Or AIMCBizSolutions.com. You can't, JVF.com. Nobody's going to pick those, right? So
actually, someone did have it before me.
I did. Oh, I actually got the domain for AIMCbusinesssolutions.com too, just so somebody doesn't grab it. But
so that's actually one thing I don't think we talked about earlier is that you can get multiple domain names and point them at the same website. I mean, we have, I think, 15 or 20 that point at jvf.com.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and then content. You're using content that you don't have rights to, and we talk about images, videos, and all that.
Don't go onto someone's Flickr account.
Flickr, is that still around?
It is. It's actually still around.
Wow, yikes! And then keeping your branding consistently everywhere is important, right? I love it when you go from LinkedIn to Facebook to Instagram, and everything's different. Keep it consistent.
Yeah,
right?
It's like they use, let's say it's a solopreneur. They'll use their logo on one platform. Then they'll have their face, like their headshot on another.
They'll have their sunglasses on with a beer in their hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And then, they have different names. Like, it would be like us being JVF Solutions, then JVF Solutions LLC, then JVF Websites. We wouldn't do that. You want everything to be consistent so people can find you.
And then showing up on the platforms that your clients or audience uses.
Right.
Why bother? Why would you be a B2C company and be posting all day on LinkedIn? You have some clients there, but LinkedIn's really a B2B site mostly, right?
Mostly, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of consumers on there as well. I mean, if you're looking for a very professional audience, you wouldn't necessarily, TikTok might not be the best, if you don't have.
I'm due for a TikTok video. I got to do a social harmonizer TikTok video soon.
Yeah, when the producers are back, maybe when we do our next recording, we'll do another TikTok and
have
it up there.
Awesome stuff. And then we talked about your website being your strongest asset.
It really should be.
Yeah. So your online presence is a system. It's not a checklist. I know we kind of made a checklist earlier, but it's all about your system, your ecosystem. And that is what your online presence and being on your online presence like a hotshot's all about,
right.
Is understanding your ecosystem. Woo! Yeah, baby. So, wow.
Covered a lot today.
Covered a lot. I know this is a lot to take in, but definitely like, share, comment, repost. Market Like a Hotshot, episode 48. And we're at 48 now. I do periodically post these on my Instagram stories, Facebook stories. I appreciate if you share them with your Instagram stories and Facebook stories. We put some stuff on TikTok once in a while, right?
Right. And there's actually 2 announcements that are coming out.
Oh, big stuff coming, let me tell you.
2 big announcements.
Huge stuff.
There will be one that's probably going to be released the day that this airs because this will be released on Monday. And we have an announcement about our next live event. And then we also have an announcement about guests. So we have 2 big announcements
coming
and
up.
then in a few weeks, we're going to have a huge announcement that I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that one later.
Yeah, we'll have to keep that on the wraps.
That one is very, that one, very late breaking and it's very exciting.
Market Like a Hotshot is booming. Love you to join the family. MarketLikeAHotshot.com.
Yeah.
I also have a link tree that has that. We have link trees out there.
We're everywhere.
And then Learn Like a Hotshot's booming away, man. We're starting to get some contributors on there. You'll be seeing some new courses on Learn. If you click the Learn link on MarketLikeAHotshot.com. And also merch, man. We could wear T-shirts again almost. It's almost summer.
Well, look, I'm in short sleeves today.
I'm in long sleeves because he hasn't been outside in a while.
No, I was outside a few times today.
He's hot-blooded Italian.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is warm in my office.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So if you're cold, just go to James' office. You'll be warm. But anyways, man, let's do it. Let's have a good day. MarketLikeAHotshot.com. Follow us, and we'll see you all soon in Online Presence Like a Hot Shot.